Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger. My friends, Elphelt is now live for Guilty Gear Strive. And not only that, we have a patch with the game, including adding some fun new things like all new special moves for Potemkin and Axel. So this video will be mostly about Elphelt, but just to really run quick through some of the new additions to the game and changes. So one, hey, new moves, right? So Potemkin now has the Heat Tackle. This is half circle forward, heavy slash, and he just rockets across the screen. Big old move. One of the big things here is if, people are jumping from further away, you can easily snipe them out of the air because, Heat Knuckle not exactly reaching from that far out, right? And also, depending on how you catch them in the jump, you can have just a little bit of frame advantage as well, so that's interesting, right? It's a good thing to add. I guess the best thing for Potemkin, though, in the end, is it gives him a real hit confirm off lights now. So you can go like light, in the new special. Same deal, crouch lights into the new special. If they're crouching or not, it'll still hit either way. So the boy actually has proper offense off lights, I guess. Because you get your lights, you get your special, you get a good knockdown. That's pretty all right? So that's, all in all, a pretty big buff for Potemkin. Axel also got a new move here, so this is the Whistling Wind, and it's just a big old tornado, and yes, this is holdable, and if you hold it, it becomes a big old fire tornado. There's like whirlwind effects on the screen, which I think is actually kind of cool, and there is a bit of a suction effect. People will be pulled into the tornado, and especially the charge one specifically, you can recover and just do whatever after the fact while it's still actively on the screen. So the implications are yet to be found out fully yet, but I feel like this is definitely going to be a worthwhile move for Axel. Just having trash on the screen while you're still able to do the usual stuff, and you can run in front of it and like lock people down, like all that kind of stuff. Seems like it's going to be pretty good, honestly. And we do also have the patch. It's long. One of the big things here specifically is Wild Assault. So Wild Assault's been kind of changed up across the board, so it does not take as much burst meter from the enemy anymore. And it's the same if you do the regular version or the charge version. It takes less, and it's been unified. They both take the exact same. So you can still do Wild Assault, drain some meter, make sure they can't burst out, all kind of stuff, but it's not as strong as it was before. Basically, every character has some changes. The thing is, there are usually one or two changes, and some are mostly kind of smaller. This video is more about Elphelt, so I don't want to go into specifically every single detail here, but two things. One, I'll put the patch notes in the video description for you if you want to check that out. And two, Happy Chaos got nerfed, so everyone rejoice. So now Elphelt. Elphelt is a weird combination of a lot of things are like visually the same, but she's very much a completely different character this time around. Like, yo, she has the gun. Hey, remember that bad boy, right? So heavy slash. Can't really mash it the same way, except now you have follow-ups. So she can go heavy slash, but you can't exactly mash on the gun. Little things like, hey, bridle rocket. It's there, but not quite the same. Grenades! We got a grenade. Literally, the grenade is there, but it's a completely different move now. Shotgun? Hey, shotgun's still here, but it's part of a weird Unchained Circle move. Like, if you know your King of Fighters Angel, right? The whole Unchained Circle deal, that's kind of what that's like now. So Elphelt's very different. Now, on the star difficulty rating chart here, she's super easy to play, and I'm not gonna disagree with that. For as difficult as Asuka was, right? Elphelt is about as easy gets. One, she has Titanic buttons, this is just regular slash. Look at the range of that, right? Heavy slash, boom. That is ridiculous that it hits from that far. Once again, remember too, target combo. So just on a pure buttons basis, slash and heavy slash are very, very good buttons. That's great. One thing to note, the gunshot specifically, even though it's a gunshot with gun explosion, it counts all as a hurt box. So if it whiffs and you're quick on the uptake, you absolutely can punish it, just so you know. I know the animation makes it look like that's not a thing, but it is a thing. And Elphelt's got a big old gun, so we're going to be using it, and her gun is wacky. So her basic fireball option, just quarter circle forward slash heavy slash, right? And it's basically twofold. One is the base beam projectile, so you can just hit the enemy with it, that's fine. But if it were to, for whatever reason, whiff, part two is a tracking fireball. So I can go over your head, shoot over here, still hit you, because it tracks that well. Now, it's certainly not infallible, right? It'll only track where you roughly are, when it starts to begin the homing, right? So it can totally whiff, right? But if you don't hit with the base shot, the second part will try its best to catch the enemy on the flip. The difference between the two versions, slash, the initial beam, if you will, is shorter. So it'll track basically faster overall. And the heavy slash version, the initial beam is longer. And then it'll track after the fact. So if you're, bagging on the fact that you will miss, usually go for the slash version. If you're trying to hit him with the initial beam, go for the heavy slash version. That's the way I have it figured right now. Other things she has, it's mostly functionally the same as the old Bride Rocket, right? She kind of shoots the gun and just hits you with her butt. So good combo ender, all that kind of stuff. The one interesting thing here is this guy here. This is quarter circle back heavy slash. So it's like her classic grenade, except it's different because she's jumping while doing it. And just to get this out of your head real quick, because she's in the air while doing this, right? So you're like, oh, 6P her. Keep in mind the grenade is not in the air. She is, but the part that hits on the ground. So 6P is not an option. Although if you're quick, you could air throw her out of it, just so you know. But the one thing here is she recovers before she lands. So she gets the grenade to hold you in and then attack after the fact. It's almost like an aggressive advancing short hop, if you will, right? So you have your jump covered with an actual like projectile washing your back, right? So you can attack before you land and just go from there. Just seemingly real decent for pressure, just kind of all around, right? Just works out. And Chain Lollipop, which is a good name, I guess, is one of the silliest things about this character. So once again, like I said, this is like King Fighter, just like the Unchained series. So you would think I'm doing an infinite here, basically, and I guess in a way it sort of is, as I can infinitely attack anyways. So it starts with quarter circle back S. So the start of the series is the same no matter what. And then you have multi follow-ups. So you can go quarter circle back S, and then you can go immediately into an overhead or a low. And I don't have the frame data right now, but if they don't hit on the same frame, it's got to be very close to it. So they're pretty tricky. So the overhead is P, the low is kick, and the classic Elphelt shotgun is heavy slash. And here's how this works. So heavy slash is basically the ender. So if you do the heavy slash version, no matter what, you end. But if you say go for the overhead, you can do another thing. You can go overhead, low. Or you can go low, overhead, or you can loop it back to the starter and start her over again. So you can go starter, overhead, starter, overhead, starter, low, heavy slash. So it's pretty complex, and if you don't know what's up, you're definitely going to get blown up by it. So on the base level, it's simply as this. If it gets blocked, it's kind of whatever. Legitimately. Like, it's better if it gets hit, but if you get blocked, it's simply guess overhead or low, boom, take a quick damage. Why? Because even if you block successfully all of it, right, you're barely positive and the shotgun pushes you out super far. So it's super low risk for Elphelt to do anything. And by the way, this specific sequence here, you cannot mash out of it. This stuff is airtight. The only time you can mash out is if she tries to sneak in more reps. So once again, every time you do the slash version, you just restart the whole rep, right? And if you do, say, overhead, and then start another chain, and go for more overhead, start another chain, go for more overhead, so on and so forth, or same for lows, or whatever, right? As long as you keep doing the slash version to restart the chain, that is the weakness. Every time Elphelt restarts the chain with the slash version, it is slow enough that you can hit buttons out of it. Like, you can just mash punch at the bare minimum, right? Or do something invincible, or just, there's a gap there. Like, you can 6P if you want or whatever. Like, you can do whatever you want, right? There's just enough. It's not a huge gap, right? But if you're aware it's happening, you can stick stuff through it. But as Elphelt's rated an easy character, right? She kind of has her easy bake offense, right? Especially because she has, like, literally double heavies. So hit confirming's never going to be a problem. And you can just go in. Oh, I got blocked. Okay, I'll start my chain, right? Get blocked, start my chain. Okay, guess overhead or low. Overhead that time. Could be low this time. And you can go for either, double lows, double overheads as well, right? You can just kind of go that, or you can go for the completely safe pushback shotgun ender. So basically, people just got to flipping coins. The reward is not that big. Like, if I start the chain, go low, shotgun, gotcha. Like, it hurts, sure, but like, it's not going to be like the be-all, end-all mix-up. But it's certainly very silly. Very far away from what the original Elphelt was, for sure. So some other things to mention, just her supers. So half circle back forward, heavy slash. This is kind of your stock, big, cinematic, invincible super. So that's basically her only real defensive option. She doesn't have anything else invincible at all. So while she's got the big buttons, she's got lots of screen control, all that kind of stuff, her ability to handle pressure will not be amazing, but fair enough, I suppose, because everything else seems pretty good. The one cool thing, though, double quarter circle forward kick, she puts a big grenade belt on you that'll explode after a little bit, right? This is a true command grab. You cannot jump this after the flash. If you see the super, you're already got. It's already too late. So the deal with this is it doesn't do too much initial damage, but, well, the grenades, right? So, as you can see, you can block the explosion, right? That's fine. That's fine. But, you know, you have to block the explosion. So while you're worrying about that, if I hit you with, say, a low after the fact, you're eating the explosion. If I hit you with, quick charge dust overhead, you're eating the explosion, all that kind of stuff. You have to play very defensively while it's up. Because even if you hit me, it's not going away. And if you hit me, and if you're in the middle of an animation, you might get exploded on. So it's very interesting. True command grab, and gives you a lot of pressure after the fact. And just to end off, I guess, this normal here. So this is forward heavy slash. This is ridiculous range. It looks like an overhead. It is not an overhead. But it causes a ground bounce. So if you're just looking, to do the quick pokes, and if you want a high reward poke, it goes directly into the grenade hop. And you can do something like this from like mid-screen. So, pretty alright damage, and that's, mid-screen plus corner carry. Like, even if you're further away, maybe you won't get the wall break necessarily, but, the corner carry is pretty significant, as you can see here. So, mid-screen up, definite wall break, and anywhere else on the screen, you basically put them corner to corner. So, just, really good move, big poke, obviously, it's a little bit of a tell, I suppose, right? But, it is special cancelable. So, if you see it get blocked, you can just toss out a quick shot or something. Very low consequence on block for the most part. And pretty big reward on hit. So pretty good normal. Just because, that bounce on regular hit, you don't need a counter hit, you don't need anything, gives you the world. So in the end, I just think Elphelt's pretty cool. And just little fun things like, say, the grenade hop, right? If you Roman cancel out of the grenade hop, the grenade's still a factor, right? So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of gimmicks out of that. She just has big buttons, big rewards, very simple, yet effective, it would seem, game plan. So, the Elphelt of old, the old terror, this is not that character, for sure, right? But perhaps the Elphelt of a new terror, could be on the horizon. Just her aesthetic is cool now, because she's a punk rocker / metal lord now, versus the old bride, right? Like, she is wearing a leather jacket with spikes, after all, right? So, edgelord confirmed. But yeah, just interesting changes. I like it, and remains to be seen where it'll be going long term. But so far, Elphelt seems like a good addition to Strive. And of course, we got more characters to come for Season 3. I know Slayer and ABBA fans, you've been heard, right? It's just a matter of if it'll actually happen or not, but you've been heard. So we'll see. Slayer was in the Season 1 files, right? That's been a long time ago, and now he's still not here, so who knows. But anyways, my friends, so far, my initial impressions of Elphelt are pretty cool. We'll see where she goes long term, and that is the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Guilty Gear.